They tell you to listen right now. Millions of people burning in hell right now, if God would let them out for a few minutes to say one thing to you, they'd say, listen. They'd say, don't make the mistake I did, and laugh it off. And Jesus Christ on the cross, He said, my God, why have you forsaken me? He was forsaken by God Himself. God Himself looked at all the sin that had been placed upon Jesus, all of mankind's sin placed upon Jesus. And God saw it, and He no longer saw Jesus. He saw the sin of the world. And God's wrath was so stirred up that all of His anger fell upon Jesus. All of God's wrath fell upon Jesus. Every drop of it. There wasn't one drop left. All of God's anger fell on Jesus, and it crushed Him. It crushed Him. He didn't just go through a normal death. Many people have died excruciating deaths. Not like Jesus. Not like this man. And He hung on that cross. It was treated like nothing. Like worse than nothing. He became lower than the worst person you've ever seen. He became lower than the worst situation. He took on every disease. He took on your depression. He took on your hopelessness. He took on your struggle. Why? So you could be free. So you could really, really be free by the power of God. Alcoholics Anonymous won't free you. They'll tell you you'll always be an alcoholic. The world won't free you. They can't even solve their own problems. The wisdom of this world can't free you. They've yet to solve one of man's problems. For all of our intelligence, we've gotten worse. The wisdom to change is not in us. The ability to change is not in us. And this is the difference between Jesus and some guru. This is the difference between Jesus and some religion. This is the difference between Jesus and Muhammad. This is the difference between Jesus and Buddha. All these people said, you can fix yourself. You can get to God yourself. You can make yourself holy. Jesus said, no. You can't change yourself. You can't fix yourself. You cannot change yourself. None of us can. Jesus said that. He said, you can clean the outside of the cup, but you'll still be rotten, dead, and evil from the inside. Only I can change you. And Jesus on that cross died, and many people died for a cause. But what's different about Jesus is that He rose again. By His own power, Jesus rose His life from the grave. They say, so many religions in this world say you're God. You have God inside of you, do you? If you have God inside of you, can you raise yourself up from the dead? No. Jesus was the only one that was God and had God inside of Him, because He rose Himself up from the grave. Jesus Christ defeated death. He defeated death in my life. He can defeat death in your life. And Jesus said there's one way to be right with God. One way, not many. One way to be right with God. And that's by faith and faith alone in Jesus Christ. You can put your trust in Him. You can put your trust in this Jesus. He's not like the world, where as soon as you offend Him, He'll turn His back on you. As soon as you get out of line, He'll kick you out. Jesus is not like the people of the world. You can trust Him. You can trust Jesus Christ. If He died for you, is there something else He wouldn't do for you? Jesus said, come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. He said, come to me. You've tried everybody else's ideas. Come to me. You've tried to fix yourself. Now come to me. You've tried to fill up that hole inside of you with drugs, with sex, with relationships. He says, come to me. He says, come to me. Jesus Christ rose again. Jesus Christ went through all of this. And He's asking us, put your faith in me and give up your life The call to follow Jesus isn't a call to simply believe in Jesus. It's a call to give up your life on this earth. Give up your life. Give up your life. Give up your ambitions. Whatever you want, give it up. You want more friends, give it up. You want your family, give them up. You have ambitions, something you want to accomplish in your life, give it up and give your life to Jesus. He's the only way. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can cry out to God right now. You don't have to take my word for it. You don't even have to take the Bible's word for it. You can cry out to God right now because He's a living God. He's not sleeping. The fear of God comes to me when I say this. So we're together in this, okay? Jesus Christ is coming soon. It says there's going to be a sound of a trumpet. The sky's going to be rolled back as a scroll, and the Son of Man is going to descend. He says, what are the sign of the times? The disciples said. Jesus said, as it was in the days of Noah, so it'll be in the coming of the Son of Man. In the days of Noah, they were eating. They were drinking. They were laughing. They were having a good time. They were getting married. They were being given in marriage. They cared about their clothes. They cared about their business. They were concerned about all these things, and they put God to the back of their mind. And they read nice books to make them feel good. And they looked at this man Noah, and they said, he's a fanatic, he's a lunatic. He's building a boat in the middle of the desert. It's never even rained on the earth. Until the day of Noah, it never rained once on the earth. This world had never seen rain. Water came up from the ground like a mist, dew in the morning, and watered the earth till that point. And in the days of Noah, he said, there's a rain coming. They said, we don't believe in rain. We've never seen it. Noah said, there's a God who's coming, and He's going to cleanse the world. He told me there's a God. There is only one God. Your pagan gods, they don't matter because this one God says He's going to destroy it all. You're crazy. And nowadays, people see the men and women of God and they say, you don't drink? You don't have sex before marriage? You're not watching these kind of things on TV? You're not listening to the kind of music I listen to? You don't want to look like me? You don't want to dress? What's wrong with you? Jesus is going to return and there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth? We've never heard of that before. You're crazy. And they said the same thing in the days of Noah. But when the rain started to fall, it was too late. When the clouds started to form in the sky, it says in the book of Joel that the day of the Lord is a day of darkness and gloominess. And when you look to the sky one day and you see the clouds of God forming in the sky, when that rain starts to fall, it's too late. When the Son of Man starts to descend from the clouds, it's too late. When it started to rain, the people were knocking on the door of Noah. They were knocking on the door of the ark. Let me in! Let me in! I believe now! Let me into the ark! But God had shut the door. So it'll be in the coming of the Son of Man. People will be knocking. Jesus, I heard your preacher. Jesus, I believe now. Jesus, I don't care about my things anymore. Jesus, I don't care about my friends anymore. Jesus, I heard you. Jesus, please, please. And he'll say, depart from me. It's too late. The door is locked. Do you understand that at the end of the age there'll be a judgment and God will sit on the judgment throne and He'll judge everybody? And nobody's going to be exempt from this judgment. If you're not ready for the coming of Jesus, if you call yourself a Christian and you don't have any passion for God in your heart, if you're more interested in being friends with the world, if you're more interested in TV shows and magazines and going to movies and you don't care about Jesus, if you had to really search yourself and say, I don't care much about God.